Hello, ahlan wa sahlan, keef hal my tribe, marhaban bikum. You are with your show host, Rags. And today I feel really fresh with my voice, and I want to tell you why. Do you want to know who the voice on the other side of the screen is? I have in front of me Ana Schofield, your radio presenter from Yalla Home at Pulse Sharjah. Pulse 95. Anna, we
Yeah.
want you to do something for us before we start.
Oh no. Okay, I'm ready.
Are you? Anna, can you greet our viewers just the way you greet us when we're listening to you, just so we can give a face to the beautiful voice now?
Okay, greet you. All right. You see, I just call you Rags, so that's immediately what I wanted
Yeah,
to say.
yeah, please.
Welcome to Rags. That's my Emirates voice, or it would be Pulse 95.
Wow, wow. And I was reading about you. You have so many more accolades, and we're going to speak about that as we're going to move ahead with our interview. And it's very exciting, to know so much about you. So
Ah,
let's begin. So we're going to do a little bit of questions where you're going to tell our viewers about your life, and then a few questions are going to be where you're going to tell them if at all they want to do radio as their subject.
yeah.
And having said that, my daughter is your student. How proud
She
am I of the two of you?
Yeah, no, she's a wonderful student. I mean, we've had some fun together, me and your little
Sure.
girl. She's very, I mean, when I train children, I am very personal. It's a very personal experience, as you well know. I don't do big classes. I don't train, 15 students at once. It's one-on-one.
No.
And that's
Yeah.
very important to me, really. It always has been. I wanted to train the children very thoroughly and make sure they're professionals when they leave me. And your little girl, she shines.
Oh.
Yeah, Isha's
and and Anna, you also pick these children. I mean,
yeah,
seriously, wow, wow. You have that art, to understand if one has the voice to make it on
yeah.
radio. So I'm going to quickly start. What's the best thing about being a radio presenter? And what's your favorite part of this job?
Okay, well, my favourite part of radio is it being live. Radio has always been a very live platform for me. It's very real.
Sure.
And it's funny because I'm a certain type of radio presenter. You get lots of different types of radio presenters, but and I've done lots of different types of radio. So there's commercial radio, there's talk radio, and in commercial radio you have music like at Virgin. You're going to get hard hitting gangster rap, proper and trending music. You're getting it all. If you
Wow.
go to some other stations, you're going to get family music. If you go to
Mm,
Pulse 95, you get this. You run a kind of a gauntlet
mm,
of
mm.
amazing shows. The breakfast show is very business. The middle
Sure.
of the day is a bit sport. There's a tech show, and then there's Yalla Home, which is very commercial, very music based. We have a live platform, obviously, and my co-host is from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is the first time in the UAE that
Mm,
really I know of, and I've
mm,
not, I mean, I've explored a lot as well,
mm, mm.
that someone was brave enough and clever enough, I think, like the Sharjah Broadcasting Authority were,
Right.
put a proper English expat on radio with a Saudi Arabian Arab, if that makes sense. So that
Wow.
it's very rare. It was very unique.
Yeah. Mm.
And super clever. So there's this
Super
lovely,
witty. Super witty as well. I'm a big fan.
yeah, correct. It's lovely. But I mean, it was, so getting back to your question, my type of radio is live. I never know what I'm going to say as we open the microphone. That's me.
Sure.
So
Sure.
just, you're asking me questions. I don't know what questions you're going to ask me. You're going to get
Mm,
proper, honest answers from me.
mm,
And we
mm.
don't know how the interview is going to go. I love that. That for me is very
Awesome.
real. And I've done television in the UK, and I've even done
Mm.
television here in the UAE. But television is recorded. You rarely get live television these days.
Yeah.
Video, we open the mic. If we spill water, the audience hears it.
Yeah.
If we shout, if we say a word by mistake, if we
Yeah.
get information wrong, you can't rub it out and go back. You have
Yeah.
to literally honor everything that you say and every word that
Yeah.
comes out of your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Awesome. Way to go, girl, and more power to you. And if you still haven't heard her, go on to Yalla Home Pulse Radio 95 and you're going to find her. Anna, what's the slot again? It's 5:30, right?
Yes, it's the drive time show. So it's 5 till 8 p.m. We're on for
Right,
3 hours.
right.
And, you know, my co-host, when I met him, I walked in and went, I want to do live music. I never met him before, 2.5 years ago. We sat down.
No, it
He
doesn't
got,
look like. It feels like you guys know each other. You're so amazing together. What a wonderful team.
well, we're best friends now. And I think that's also really key. Audiences aren't stupid. They know. And I think
Yeah.
if you listen to the radio and you hear an edge
Mm,
between presenters,
mm,
probably they don't really like one
mm,
another much. And
mm,
you can
mm,
always buy talent. Okay, any
mm,
radio station anywhere in the world can buy talent.
mm,
What you
mm,
can't buy is chemistry, and that's
mm,
very important to me as a co-host.
mm,
And I love co-hosted radio because you don't know what the
mm.
other person's going to say. So therefore,
Right.
you've got that energy and
Yeah.
that vibe.
Yeah. Sure.
And some people don't like it. You know, you've got
Mm,
certain radio presenters that are very set and they know
mm,
what their radio is going
mm,
to do, what they're going
mm,
to say, how
mm,
long they're going to be. They might even
mm.
script it. That's
Yeah.
not me. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of a girl. And luckily, so is Big Hass. So Yalla Home is, we know that we might be going to talk about monkeys or we're going to talk
I
about.
know, and I've heard that, most of the times. And you know, we're always writing in messages to
Here we
tell
are.
you how we love you. We love you guys. Big shout out going to Big Hass. I'm going to follow him too after this interview, and I'm going to make
Yes,
sure he
definitely.
does. Okay, Anna. So what led you to a career in radio? You know, this is for our youth audiences listening in to us.
Well, actually, I was a failing actress. I came out of my performing arts
No,
degree and was trying to be an
no.
actress, getting nowhere, and ended up sort of like all good actors and actresses do. You're either a hostess somewhere or a waitress, or I was doing everything but acting.
Sure.
Did a couple of TV bits, but you know, nothing big. And then, and I happened to take these Turkish VIPs around who were staying over in London, and they were media moguls. And after 2 weeks of getting to know me, went, you need to come and host our radio show, our breakfast show. And I said, I've never done radio. I can't possibly do that. And they went, we've seen you. You're an actress. You'll be brilliant. And they took a chance on me. And the next thing I know, I'm living in
Wow.
Turkey for a year, and I did a breakfast show, and I've never looked back.
Wow, wow, how inspiring this is so inspiring. I'm glad we picked this up for the interview.
Yeah.
Okay, so now one is a little tricky, Anna.
Okay.
Local has always been the Pulse Radio's mantra. I've been hearing about this. You know, it's like the Sharjah Pulse Radio, the Sharjah Pulse Radio.
Yeah.
How do you keep the station visible and involved with our community from the United Arab Emirates? Take it away.
How do you keep it visible? You know, obviously each radio station has a marketing department,
Yes.
you know, a social media department, a digital department. I think that for Pulse 95, it's very different, and I had to get used to that because
Yes.
it's obviously, you know, owned by the royal family, who I have the
Yes.
honour to work for. And with that comes a lot of respect and a lot of different cultural aspects to it.
Yes.
And I love Pulse 95 because it's brave, but it's also all about its content. So if we flip back to, because I've worked in commercial radio stations here in the UAE, you know that already, and done 10 years here in the UAE. And commercial radio is driven by the advertising. Make no mistake, the presenters are there to keep you hanging on so you listen to the adverts, because that's how they make their money. And Pulse 95 is different. Pulse 95 is, we could call it sort of a, you know how some schools are non-profit, some schools are profit. You know, I'm working for a radio station. It's almost like the BBC in the UK. They're not about the commercial break. They're about their content. And Pulse 95 is like that. So they are driven by the content, not by driving people to an ad break. And that's the most refreshing and exciting thing, because then when you go to them with an idea, you say, we want to do live music in the studio. It's never been done. We want to do local artists. It's never been done. My bosses at Pulse 95 and Sheikh Al-Qasimi go, okay, let's try that. I mean, that's a gift.
Wow. I love that cult because I'm always plugged in on Pulse 95 and I absolutely know what you're saying. And it's such a strong pat on the back for local artists to come forward and to show off their talent.
So important.
So important, so important. I'm so glad I penned this question down because I did know that we have a sort of a parallel link running between one with Rags and Pulse, because we're both doing, well, sort of the same thing. You know, we're both bringing talents to our screens and on the radio.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the one thing that that you quickly learned from the whole pandemic?
Well, to appreciate the small things. That's been a massive lesson for me. So when you know, there was within about 2 weeks, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority were so on top of everything and literally said, we're going to give you loads of equipment, you're going home, you're not coming back until this is over. So we started, Big Hass and I had to do our show from home. And suddenly, you know, that changed the dynamics, and not going into the studio, not feeling that live vibe in a studio, not being able to interact with the audience. Of course, it was still live, but you couldn't, it wasn't the same. And not being there with Hass also wasn't the same. I missed him, I missed the studio, I missed the energy. And then the small things of not being able to see my friends. Suddenly, of course, you will miss, you know, you miss them and you know you're missing it. But then when you finally get released almost, you know, I went to the mall for the first time 2 weeks ago, and it was the most exhilarating experience. Purely because I hadn't been allowed to go. We went back into the studio literally only maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and just sitting there with Hass again, bantering, arguing, doing all the things that we do suddenly was magical, whereas I'd taken it for granted before. So for me, it's the small things, being able to run outside again, even though it's boiling hot, without breathing through paper, being able to ride a bike with my son again through the park, because the parks have been closed. These are all now milestones that you didn't appreciate before. So for me, saying thank you.
How beautifully expressed that, Anna. And viewers listening into us, don't forget to thank and have a lot of gratitude for the smallest things, like Anna said, because they're not small actually, but it's just how we
it's how
okay, Anna.
I realize.
Sure. My next question is going to roll a few eyeballs here and there, so be prepared, guys.
I like it.
Anna, how did it feel to be the first female ever voice to have your own breakfast show on commercial radio?
Yeah, I didn't mean to. It wasn't something that I went, oh, actually that's a bit of a lie. I had an interview with a really big agent, James Grant Management in the UK, this is years ago. And he said, what is it that you want, when he was considering taking me on, and anyone who's represented by James Grant Management in the UK. So I was sitting there just pleased that I got the interview, and I said, I suppose I want my own breakfast show, because I'd done breakfast shows where, you know, the male name was first. It's always a girl and a boy, and the
I agree. But you know, on my channel, we're very candid and we're very raw and organic. At that time, male voices were actually more dominating. Are we allowed to say that, Anna?
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's completely true. And this thing of the man leads and the male voice, and there was also a perception when I started radio, you know, oh, well, people like a male voice more than they like a female voice. I was like, surely it depends what's coming out of the mouth, but this was the general kind of consensus. And then, you know, one day I got this email. I was on air at a station called Power FM, interviewing Craig David and all these wonderful people. I was yeah, it was wonderful. And I got an email, and the email said, hi, because in those days, you know, that was because we were talking for years. And it said, I've just listened to your breakfast show. I've listened to you run rings around the men, even though I was second billing. Please give me a call. And it turned out to be the head of a group called EMAP at the time. EMAP were a huge radio group. And he said, I have a big breakfast show, and I've been looking for a breakfast show presenter. And he was literally driving up and down the country listening to breakfast shows. That's what he was doing. And he said, I want you. And of course I went, what? And who else? And he went, no, I want you.
You asked him who else? Oh.
Because I was like, and who will I be with? Because that's what I was conditioned.
Yeah.
And
Oh
went,
dear.
no, I want it to be the Ana Schofield breakfast show. And so that's what I did. And it was the
Wow.
whole of the Northeast. And also, Rags, what was quite funny was they put me on a station called Metro Radio. It's a huge station. It's like the third biggest breakfast show in the UK or something like that.
Wow, wow.
But it was also up north. And up north in the UK, they have completely different accent. So what they actually did was put quite a posh, you know, southern chick on a northern radio station in the UK. And so it was very controversial on their part to do that, both from the accent that I had, the way that I spoke, and the fact I was female. Very football oriented as well. I knew nothing about football. And they said to me, right, you're going to have to get to know football. And I was like, oh, God.
Oh.
Okay, let's do this. And it was a 20 fader breakfast show. There were 2 or 3 guests every morning. It was huge, and it was a lot. I had no idea what I'd taken on.
Wow.
I knew, if I'd known, I would have been really scared. But you know, you're quite sort of feisty when you're in your 20s. You're just like, fine, I'll do this. You know, yeah, I'll do it.
And it's sometimes the best thing. Sometimes the best way. Sorry, not thing. The best way is to do things when you don't know much.
Yes.
And then you just yourself, and then you just fearless, like you said. You know, you're just feisty. You want to do it all. Do you want to quickly show me that accent? Do you want to show us that accent?
I can't do it. It's a Geordie accent. They say why I and things. So the studios were in Newcastle. Now, I know what I can do for you. I can show you the difference. So I say Newcastle, okay? And that's very RP. It's very Queen's English. It's the voiceover voice I use. Well, up north, they say Newcastle.
Newcastle.
And so I would be there going, you know, Metro Radio, Newcastle, and I think I got a lot of kind of men ringing up going, what are you doing? Why are you on my radio? So
Can I tell you, because my husband went to Durham, so you know do you know why I asked?
That's why. Yeah, no, I'm not going to try and do the Geordie accent. I'm bad.
Okay, let's move on, Anna. Now for the next one. Yeah. I'm going to wait and watch the comment box after our interview is done with, okay? Right. So, and I'm going to giggle, and you have to allow me to chuckle and have all the fun with this one. You know where I'm coming at.
All right, go on.
I kissed Prince Charles, and he kissed me back. Spill the beans. And 1 second, sorry. There's another one. There's another one straight after, and I don't want to miss that one.
Okay.
Andrew asked you out.
He did.
When you were at the Buckingham Palace. Yeah. Girl, and you turned him down.
I did.
Wow. Yeah. That's quite a story. And now you have to spill the beans for the viewers.
Right. So Prince Charles, because obviously Prince Andrew, I don't admit to that much now because there's been so much controversy with him, shame on him for what's gone on. So it's not quite as shiny a story anymore. People go, ooh, Prince Andrew. But Prince Charles is just a lovely, lovely fellow.
That one.
Yeah, amazing. It was National Kissing Day. In the UK, there's a National Kissing Day. And it's all very lovely, you know, it's very nice and light. Sure. But there's national kissing. And I was asked to represent the South at Prince Charles was coming to, I think he came to the Isle of Wight and he was shown round and blah, blah, blah. And I was asked to be an ambassador because I was on the radio there. And so I was an ambassador for the day and off I went to meet Prince Charles. He was coming round, he bumped into me, well, he didn't bump into me, it wasn't like we were in the supermarket, but he was coming up and we were chatting and I said, you know what, sir, because you have to call him sir, you know what, sir, it's National Kissing Day. And he went, oh, is it really? And I said, yes. I said, I just wanted, and he went, oh, absolutely. And then gave me, yes, I got the photos, very funny. Now, so just a little kiss, like we do in the UK, you know how you greet people in the UK. Obviously, here it's much more respectful in the UAE. But in the UK,
but Prince Charles.
But he got into awful trouble. So that happened, all the press were there, and this picture of me and him having a little kiss on National Kissing Day it went up and down on all the tabloids.
You had shutterbugs on you.
Oh, it was everywhere. And the next thing I know, I get a call from Buckingham Palace saying, yeah, it's really not great that you kissed our prince. He's the next in line to the throne. And I had to write an apology letter for kissing him.
No.
And I thought, thought, well, he didn't write me an apology letter. But, you know, it was, and they were lovely to me afterwards because I did other things. But that's what happened there. And Prince Andrew, I was at the palace. I got invited for my contributions to radio. So I'd won my Radio Sony Award, and I'd been the first, you know, been the first female, blah, 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 for her own breakfast show. So I got invited. They did a big media day, a national media day, and I got invited to Buckingham Palace, and just walked in. It was
incredible.
And I met Prince Andrew, and at the end, he said to me, I'd very much like to, you know, can I take your number? And he had my number anyway, because we were all guests at the palace. Yeah, but he phoned the next day, and I missed the call. And he left a message saying, Anna, call me back at the palace, very much like to, you know. And I kept the message, but I didn't call him back because I was with my husband. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm actually a little, I'm muttering.
It was funny.
I don't find myself doing that. I have to say, I have to admit, or an interview, but Anna, I don't know. I honestly don't know where to start from and where to stop. This is commendable. Wait till they hear what I'm going to ask you next now.
I'm scared.
Seriously, Anna, you're really awesome. You have to know this. I'm so happy and I'm so proud that I have you on the show, and you are seriously, you know, if I'm allowed to say, you're like the youth icon, you know.
I love that.
Okay, let me move on. So you also work for the Sharjah royal family, you know, the highnesses, and we spoke about them. And you are on the accreditation advisory board for Sharjah Performing Arts Academy, the only performing arts university in the entire region.
Yes.
You want to tell us just a little bit about this?
Yes, absolutely. It's so exciting. About a year and a half ago, we got a call saying, oh, by the way, Sharjah Performing Arts Academy has opened, to which I obviously went, what? You know, the actress in me went, are you kidding? Where there's an academy?
There's an academy, I know.
Yeah. Sure. Because there isn't one, and I
know exactly from where you come from right now, because I am an Emirati girl myself, and I know we desperately needed one in our region.
Yes, especially as there is so much else going on. I mean, literally, this region has everything. But of course, how amazing that Sharjah did it, because Sharjah is the cultural capital, and they have all these beautiful museums. And the one thing I've learned about Sharjah is you just don't know what's in Sharjah until you're in Sharjah. So it's been a beautiful learning curve for me. And then suddenly, true to the style of the ruler of Sharjah, he opens the most incredible university. The building itself is amazing. It has a theatre that seats 180 people. So I went to go and meet them, and I just said to them, I literally am adoring this whole thing. The wonderful thing about it is they've employed the most amazing people, and very typical to the UAE. We want it to be the best. So they went to the UK drama schools, and they've picked a gentleman called Andy Sullivan, who is the most incredible performing arts teacher and has actually built the BA Performing Arts degree. But they don't just do performance degrees, they're doing backstage degrees. You can go and study lighting, study sound. They've got 12 studios. And for me, this is like Aladdin's cave. I walked in and went, literally, I've been waiting for this. And then they got their accreditation about a year ago. So they can now, you know, these degree courses are accredited globally and respected, and growing all the time. And then we talked about doing some masterclasses. So I'm going to do a masterclass in voice for their students. Actually, it got postponed through the pandemic, which I was devastated about. But also we're looking to do radio masterclasses for the third year student courses. So that's very exciting as well. And we're working together anyway. And then they put their advisory accreditation board together, and they very kindly invited me to be on it. And for me, this is like coming home. This is the actress in me, the performer in me. You know, because everything's performing, whether it's radio.
You are a charming person.
Oh no, it's just
charming person, Anna.
You can have it too. You're a performer. Look at what you're doing. Look at the incredible thing you're creating with your channel.
Thank you, Anna.
So
when
I
it comes to me, Oh, when it comes from you, it means the world, you know. But I completely understand when you said the part about there was so much talent in the region, because I grew up here, and back then we didn't have much choice when it came to media. And
Yeah,
so people like me who was so into media and always, I just knew I wanted to be in front of the camera all the
right.
time,
And it
but
is
we had to
in
go
you.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Anna. So now I know we've already convinced a lot of our viewers watching you right now to wear Anna's shoes. But but I want you to talk to the viewers and tell us, what is that one piece of advice Anna Schofield wants to tell all of my viewers, our viewers in general, Anna? What do you want to tell them? What do they look out for? And what is it that it takes to be where you are at right now?
Oh, I don't know. I think maybe grabbing opportunities when you see them.
Mm,
The one thing that I've learned is, I
mm,
didn't have necessarily a career plan. I didn't have it all
yes.
mapped out.
Yes.
But what I've been, the best things have always come from left field. I will be focusing on something really, really hard. And while I'm focusing on that, something else comes and smacks me. And I think it's important to turn around and go, oh, actually, that's what I wanted. Or grab it too and then see. I'm the kind of a say
Mm,
yes, put the phone down, then
mm,
go, now what do I do?
mm,
That's me. I always want
mm,
to grab the opportunity, and even if I think I can't do it, I'll say yes, smile, and then work out how I can do it. So
yes.
that has worked well for me. And I think, people are everything. And always remember that nothing's ever
Mm.
just business. People say, oh, business is
Thank
business.
you for saying that.
I don't
Mm,
agree with that. People work with people they like. People
mm,
work with people they trust,
mm,
and people will go back to someone they trust and they like because they know what they're going to get. And so that for
mm.
me also stood me in good stead. Be ethical, and understand that your reputation means everything. And if you make a mistake, we all do, and I have, you have to own it and
Mm,
say sorry, and try
mm,
and be better the next time.
mm. Wow, wow. How nicely said was that, Anna. And I also want to add here, there's nothing big or there's nothing small, right? It's just an opportunity when it knocks your door. So I always keep saying this to our viewers. Don't wait for the right time, you know? And I've often seen this, by the way, with most of our viewers that, we're waiting for something bigger to strike. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, and I do that too. So
Oh, no.
it's funny, I'm listening to your little voice now because I've got
Mm,
something that is bubbling under, and I
mm.
don't know what I'm waiting for. So now you've said that, I'm going to press go. Thank you. Good advice.
Wow, wow. Thanks, Hannah. Thank you for saying that. Yay, again, pat on the back to me. Okay, hey, are there any resources or even advice that have helped you during this journey? Do you want to just quickly say?
My personality, probably plugging into to who I am, and I think the times in my life when I've been the most nervous are the times when I felt the most restricted. So if I can be me, I've learned that probably gets me uh, further along, and I'm more relaxed if I'm me. So when I've tried to fit myself into something that isn't me, that's when it's gone wrong. And that I have done. I talked about doing talk radio, and I did do a very structured talk radio section, um, for a small spell, and I was a little bit chaotic at it. I couldn't pronounce the names of the people who had been interviewed for a news cycle, and I would get the names wrong, and it wasn't a good fit for me. Even though I wanted to be good at it, I just kind of want. So it was good to have a stab at it, but then everyone's not good at something, and it's okay to be not
Absolutely.
good at something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you said so. We have a lot in common. We'll speak about this after our interview.
Okay.
Anna, what's your favorite word on your show, Yalla Home? I think I know, but I just want to be sure. Say it.
Favorite word?
Yeah.
Oh, you've obviously heard me say something.
Come on.
Um, what, an Arab word, maybe?
Yes.
I love the zubda. I love
Say,
the zubda. I
say it
use,
one,
yeah,
say it one more time.
Big Hass has taught me the zubda of something. It's like getting to the crux of the matter. It's getting to the, you know, the cream, the butter of the situation.
Zah. I love how you say that word. And do you know, but I picked this up, I have to say, I picked this up really long back. You do know that I drive my little girl to and fro from ballet. We've spoken about it, and that's when we're listening to you. And I'm like, oh, wow. And it's incredible how you pick these words up with Big Hass.
Yeah.
So I had to throw you a big shout out for that. You're like one of us. You're like one of us. You are one of us.
I am a mix. I'm a mix because Hass is, and I think that's really important for people to listen. If you think about where we live and the mixture of people that are here, I can't believe that what they're doing at Pulse 95 hasn't been done before, because it literally represents everyone. As an English person living here, I want to know words. I want to know about your culture. I want to know why there's Eid and what you know, various things mean. So he taught me this year when we were in Ramadan that it meant breakfast, breaking the fast. And all those kinds of things. Like, I'm hungry for it, and I think that if I'm hungry for it, there are lots of expats that are hungry for it too. So that's the bit of the show that I love the most. Yeah.
I'm so happy I asked you this, because I was expecting just how you answered this whole thing. You know, so this is another piece of advice for our viewers listening in and watching us. You have to accept the culture wherever you are, whichever part of, you know, the world you are in at right now. You need to be one of them first. So fit in that first. And then I think half your job is already done when you're there, isn't it?
Oh, well, I hope so. I mean, no, I'd like to know more. You know, it's constant learning, but that's brilliant, because once you start learning, something gets tired. And obviously I've got the whole Arab language to learn, and the cultural things will keep coming.
And you're pretty good at it, but you're pretty good at it. You're really good with the accent, I have to say. Yeah, I've heard you. And a big high five going out to my brother, Big Hass. Okay, Anna, so my finale question. This had to be my finale question.
All right.
How did the school of big voice and the big RGO management and the school of little voice begin? What's been your inspiral behind this?
Again, you know, Raki, it was an innocuous thing. I arrived 10 years ago to the UAE, went into different voiceovers, and twice I was asked, do you know any children? Now, this would be big advertising campaigns like Microsoft or something. And I, in the end, I went, what do you mean, do I know any children? They said, oh, well, we need a child on this advert, and we don't have anywhere. And I said, well, you can't. And in London, it's such a mature media market. Children have got agents for everything, for their nails, for their feet, you know, the children are doing lots of things. And I said, well, there's no source for child voices. And they said, no. And that's when I thought, right then. So I trained, my son was 3 and my daughter was 4, and I trained them. I had amazing confidence for my son, who was quite shy at the time, but in front of the microphone, not shy, interesting. So, and that's still to this day how he is. My daughter is a performer. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She's swinging from the rooftops and doing lambda. But I trained them, and then I did a little demo for them, and then they just kept getting work. And I thought, right, well, I need to do some other kids. So then I did a few of their friends, but I trained them properly so that they can leave the UAE as professional voice artists. And this is really key.
Incredible.
It's not just throwing a child in a studio. You know how, you know, it's intrinsic the training was to
I've been through this with Resha, so I know exactly. And I was going to come to this point. So what caught my eye, because I'm a media person myself, and I wish, I always tell Resha this, I wish I had a guru or a teacher like you, Anna. So I have to tell you what caught my attention. The way you took care of her and the way you still take care of her. I mean, like, wow. I know I'm just her mom, but Anna, I mean, she's got you written all over her. And you know what I'm saying? She even eats and drinks like the way you tell her to, you know, because she wants to save her voice and all of that. But it's amazing. It's incredible to see how you take care of each little voice.
Yeah,
you know, it's so personal. It's so deep. I think every parent who's got a child out there with you, Anna, would definitely shake a hand with me on this.
Oh,
when
I
I
hope, you hope so. Remember that a child is your most precious item, and I'm a mum. So I went into it understanding that it's not just the child. I'm not just
sure.
teaching about voice. This isn't a child. It's Risha, or it's Lola, or
Right,
it's, Dylan. And
right.
they all have their own personalities. And it's
Yeah.
really important that their personalities come out, because there's no point in getting Risha to do something that Dylan, who's 5, would do.
Mhm.
Again, you have to get the
Mhm.
casting right, and it has to be right for the client. But if the client is going to lean into a child and go, oh, can you use this accent? Can you possibly say
Right,
that?
right.
Sometimes, you have to step in and go, no, they're 8 years old. They
Yeah,
can't do that. You
yeah.
hired them for this. So the Rottweiler Mama Bear in me would come out and go, the child's been in here 20 minutes now. They're not here for money. They're here because they love it. So it was, when
Absolutely.
I started, it was also about training the market to understand that when you hire a child, you've got 15 to 20 minutes. You can't keep them in the studio for an hour. It's not fair. And legally in the UK, you can't do that anyway. So I brought those rules with me. And I know I was quite ferocious to some clients who would be there saying, well, you've paid for the hour. And I would say, not with 8-year-old Risha, you haven't. You've got 15 minutes. Yeah.
There was so much to learn, and there is still to learn as I progress with you being her mom. But the way you brought discipline to the whole media, I have to say, you are commendable, Anna. And I speak to everyone in our industry about you with this same passion, because I've seen that in you. And I also think, so also another thing that brought my, you actually said this to me. You said, I'm going to take Resha in. This was literally, I think, the first time when you took her into your studio.
Okay.
And you said to me, but don't be disheartened. I'm just going to tell you if she's not made for this.
Okay.
But I love how you did that, because only a passionate person with whatever you are at and so the reason I'm saying that is because remember when you spoke in your interview, you could be really good with something and someone else could be really good with something else. But
Yeah.
that's when you want to tell the world that you don't have a moment of, oh my God, I can't do it.
No, 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 no. Just, it's okay that there's other people that can do it as well as you, but they're
Yeah,
not going to do it like you, because
yeah,
you're you. So, be you. And that's really important for the children to know. And, and,
absolutely.
and again, with voiceover artists, look, I'm a one-trick pony. Everything that I do vocally is smooth and lovely and
Mm.
kind of high-end 5-star. I'm your spa girl, your Emirates, your Fly Dubai. That's me. What I'm not is cool Ibiza, get down to the steamy beach. That's
Mm.
never going to be me. I can't do that. And so I'm
No,
always open with the children. Don't worry, there's going to be something that doesn't suit you. So what we're going to do is find out what that is, and we
mm,
won't sell that.
mm,
And also as their agent, I was then able to go, do you know what? Risha can't do that. That's not good for Risha.
mm,
What
mm.
Risha would be great at. And so you steer, that was really important, because it was just life rules that I'd learned.
Amazing. And
So,
thank you for sharing all of this with us, Ana Schofield, on the other screen. And guys, you have to hit her lots and lots of love. And please shower your comments. Be generous. I'm not going to let her go until she says her Yalla home bye. Because today I wanted to talk about Yalla home, and I want all our viewers to catch you on at 5 to 8 p.m. every day. Yalla home with you and Big Has Anna. So how do you want to say bye to them?
well, when we say goodbye, Has will do the assalamu alaikum. And I can never do the second bit. I'm still working on it. You can do the second bit.
Walaikum assalam.
Yeah. And then I say bye, and he says salam.
That's the bye. That's the bye. I love that bye. It's like we're looking forward to another show, another reel from you, Anna. So bless you. Bless you, Spark. Stay shining and stay just the way you are. You are such an incredible talent. I'm going to just be with you in a minute and I'm just going to say bye to the viewers. Please don't leave the screen. So I hope you had a very lovely time, just as I did. And I just can't stop chuckling because Anna and I are going to have a good bit of laugh after we're candid and off wheel. And thank you everyone for joining in. And this is your show host Rags. Until I see you back again with another interesting guest. Stay safe, wear your gloves, wear your mask. Our Dubai police still wants you to wear a mask, remember, when you are in a public place. So this is me signing up. Ciao.